I've been using ChatGPT and Gemini to research topics for my YouTube videos for a while now, but one thing that bothers me a little bit about these tools is that I'll often just get a giant wall of text that's hard to read and understand. That's why when Ponder AI reached out, I was excited at the chance to partner with them. Imagine if every question you ask, every document you read, every insight you have could branch out naturally, connect to related ideas, and build into something bigger. Ponder lets you create visual mind maps that interconnect different layers of thought, creating a flowchart of logic that's visually easier to follow and can help to break down complex topics into their component parts. In this video, I'll guide you through how I've been using Ponder, what makes it different from other tools, and what the future of working with AI could look like. So let's dive into it, and if you want to use it for yourself, you can check out the link in the description. The first thing I tried doing was some basic research to help me with some YouTube videos I've been making. Since I want to learn more about the gaming industry, particularly about how the AAA scene has changed over recent years, I asked Ponder to investigate, and this is what I got. Instead of a wall of text, it broke down the question into different components that I was able to explore individually. I was even able to search for academic papers related to the topic and put it into the space for me to look at later. Next up, I asked a more open-ended question related to a future video I want to make. How can humans stay useful in a post-AGI world? And for this question, I was impressed by how Ponder broke down the topic into 3 specific components that were actually helpful for building a script. And when I make that video, I'll go back to this mind map as a starting point for brainstorming the different topics that I want to cover. Finally, I asked Ponder to analyze a YouTube video that seemed relevant, but that I didn't really have time to watch. A critique of the use of AI in video games. And this is the feature that I think I'll be using a lot in the future. I love the way that Ponder structured the mind map, simplifying the main points of the video, while also referencing specific lines and arguments. There are so many videos on YouTube out there, but I don't really have the time to sit down and analyze every single one. When I'm doing research on a topic, it's nice to be able to get simplified notes that I can draw from. But how is it different from other linear tools? So far, I've mainly been showing you examples from within Ponder, but what makes it different from all the other tools out there is that you can use it to interconnect your thoughts. After all, while most tools allow you to have a conversation in order to learn more, Ponder creates an interconnected web of thoughts that allows you to think differently. For a while, I've been experimenting with so-called second brain apps like Notion, Obsidian, and even Cortex. The promise of these apps is that they do the heavy lifting of organizing all the knowledge you have so that you can focus on actually coming up with new ideas. But here's the thing, they're each built around linear thinking patterns that don't match how everyone prefers to work. Notion is great for project management, and for a while it's what I used for organizing my YouTube content strategy, since it helps you track progress really well. But it's tough to store scripts, images, or any other information that you might need. Obsidian feels perfect for taking notes on different pieces of material and connecting them together to find common themes. But honestly, I found it a bit hard to use. Although the node system that uses tags to organize information does look really cool and could have lots of potential. Cortex, it's from this YouTuber Dan Ko, who I follow, and it's also trying to be a place where you can store all of your information. Ponder doesn't try to retrofit visual thinking onto a text-based system. It's built from the ground up on visual flows of logic. Personally, I love using a whiteboard-like space to visualize ideas. It's what I used in my videos on A24 and Neon, and seeing the relationship between ideas as I'm developing them and not just reading about them in individual separate documents is a refreshing way to think sometimes. Ponder doesn't try to replace these other tools. Instead, it's becoming that layer that connects them. You can export your Ponder mind maps as markdown files that integrate with Notion or Obsidian. So I can do different types of exploratory thinking and idea development in Ponder's visual space, and then export the results to Notion, for example, for project management. What helps is that it also understands the context of your entire thinking. So if you're doing a certain topic, it can see how different concepts might relate to each other across the entire canvas. So what this means is that you can start out with something that is more exploratory, branching, and then Ponder can help you to deliver these ideas visually and help you make it make sense. What's truly exciting for me, though, is what's next. The mind map of the future won't be a static tree. It'll be a living, interactive ecosystem. When you have a new thought, it can be placed automatically in the most appropriate location and connect to other similar nodes. It could be integrated with live data like the stock market, current events, news, or even the weather. It would understand the interconnected nodes of the map and point out potential conflicts in logic, and it could offer cross-disciplinary analysis and use the collective knowledge of the map to create starting points for new thoughts and areas of investigation. Of course, that system doesn't exist yet, but one day it could, and by experimenting with the latest tools available, we can get a glimpse into that future. Thanks again to Ponder for sponsoring this video. My next one is going to be about world models and what makes them different from your more standard diffusion models. But since that one won't be out for a while, you can check out my videos about Neon and A24 if you want to learn more about two of the most exciting companies in the film industry right now. All right, that's it for now. Peace.